Well. Hello, everybody. I am attorney Michael Ehline, and as you know, I am an attorney licensed in Texas and California, and I've been YouTubing for a long time, and I have a ton of followers, and they're expecting me to come on every day and talk to them. And because I've made so many friends over all these years, here I am. So I have BZ Watchdog with me today. Say hi, BZ, to everybody.
Oh, what's going on, guys?
Hello. And then everybody knows BZ and I are both Marines, and because there's no such thing as a former Marine, only an inactive Marine.
No. Just a Marine no longer on active duty.
Oh, Marine no longer on active duty there. And BZ is a First Amendment auditor, and I help him with his public records request, holding the government accountable, which I believe is the highest calling for any American, to hold their government accountable, to make sure that they're not getting screwed by public servants, which is what our founding fathers intended, that we would bind them by the chains of the Constitution. Now, number two, I notice that nobody's complained yet in the sidebar about the fact that I've got you guys in vertical mode. I just want you to know that it was a nightmare for me to do shorts, guys. I'm trying to create shorts for you guys. So I'll do a live stream and then I'll try to create a short. But if it's horizontal, everything's cut off and it's just killing me. And so as a result, I am now conferring with my daughter to help me set up an OBD channel that will make it vertical and horizontal, because I don't want to lose my core followers. I know most of the older people that are like my age and up don't like vertical, but all the young people use vertical, and that's all BZ uses. And I know it's harder for you to chat, but I'm just letting you guys know that I'm here for you, and I'm trying to find a way to make it work for everyone. And then with that being said, let's kick this off to another edition of Ask Michael Ehline. This is where I teach people the law in an unorthodox manner by using examples that we see in the news, case law briefs, but it's all about exposing the Leviathan and its instrumentalities and taking back your rights. Know the law and mean to keep it well. Come here to learn from an expert to know your right. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. And of course, since so many of you love my very weird sense of humor, I have a special gift for you. Actually, one of my viewers asked me to share something, BZ, and I know you're probably not going to like this, brother, but I've got to do it because it was by special request. And it's all about the 80s. All of my members who grew up in the 80s, I have a very special surprise for you. Let's kick it off.
Walk like an Egyptian.
The American president is doomed. A little old man can barely move. If he moves too quick, he'll topple just like a domino. He's got that sinister smile and thinks he just might win the bet, but he's just hanging on, dangling like Hunter cigarette. Hunter types with the hookah pipe say, walk like Joe Biden. And when he boards that Force One, he spins around and he hits the floor. He's got the moves. He hits the deck, then he hits some more. All the Dems are so sick of Joe, they really would like to see him end. He his pants when he went to the Vatican. All the kids in the DNC say,
Orderly, wait.
Slide your feet up the street, hump your back, stiffen your arms, don't pull them back. Life's hard, you know, when entering in the Cadillac. If you want to know where it stops, it ends in dementia and the cops. They sing and dance when finding the confidence presidential docks. Then they arrest all his men while Putin laughs in the Kremlin. And the Chinese know he's owned by them and Ukrainians. All the cops in the DOJ say,
What are they weighing?
walk like a Joe Biden. Walk like a Joe Biden.
Well, I'm so glad you're so proud of me for playing that.
I was just wondering if you were done having your seizure.
All right.
We all know your wife didn't marry you for your dance moves.
Let's OTVO says
I was thinking the copyright strike too. I was. That whole time. I was worried about the copyright strike and your seizure. That was an unlawful seizure of you.
Oh, sheesh. Tell us more, BZ.
Kill that music, man. It's loud.
Okay, let me get it figured out. You guys don't like my music?
No, it just drowns everything else out.
It's like really patriotic, though. You know?
I understand that, but you know what? We're having a conversation, not listening to music.
Let's OTV. So everybody, Let's OTVO is a buddy of ours, and he's
Security. I was thinking more like secure your seizures. Put them in the wall locker.
Let's OTVO is a former Navy guy, and I think he retired from the Navy. Maybe not, but clearly he's acting like a Master Chief right now, telling me to secure my dance.
Well, the way he's talking, I thought that was the women's department since we were in the men's department.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's true. We're the men's department. And then Justice Quattro 11's cracking up. That's cool.
I'm sure OTVO is going to come back about something about that men's department comment.
And so Race Gas says, no fan of Biden. I don't think he's going to freeze in the upcoming debate like many think. What do you think, Mike?
You know what? Biden's not going to freeze because he can read a teleprompter. Trump goes off script.
So
all I know is every 4 years, this is the best material Saturday Night Live can come up with.
Absolutely. Yes. There are two geriatrics running for president. And one of them's looking at like 3 life sentences if he doesn't win. or he'll be running the country from Rikers Island.
I'm just thinking if Trump wins, does he pardon himself?
Right. I don't think he can because they're state charges. He'd have to do what Obama used to do, use all the administrative agencies to go after all of his political opponents, because in the words of Obama, you just have to punish your enemies and reward your friends, quote unquote. So guys, today we are here and we are live like the UFC. And I've got Bruce in the sidebar, and I've got Justice Quattro ones and Let's OTVO telling me I got to secure my dance, which is hilarious. Guys, I admit it, I'm a white guy. I don't really know how to dance. But when I grew up,
you're not even fly for a white guy.
No, but you guys got to understand something. So I dropped out of school when I was about 16 and got a job full-time as a painter's apprentice. So guess what I used to do, eh? I was a painter's apprentice, and all of my homies were from like East LA, or they were from like Mexico. So I learned how to dance like a cholo. So that's the best way that I can tell you I know how to dance. So, yeah.
I did it 80 style Miyagi, paint the fence.
The white guy dance. Justice 111. Good seeing you, man. 11111.
Hey, we got about 20 people in here. We got plenty of B-roll footage. How about we get a little started on some of this crazy cop watching /
Aye, sir. So let me just tell you guys, the reason we're here today is we're here to talk about how to behave yourself during a cop watch or a First Amendment audit. Because if you don't behave properly, you're going to end up getting locked up. You're going to get the
like chili.
Yeah, torture cuffs. You're going to get the torture cuffs. You're going to what do they do, BZ, if you don't use your cop card and your trifle? By the way,
Oh man, they put you in them awesome torture cuffs, steal your car, haul you down to the dungeon, and steal your money.
They steal your money. And then how do you avoid the torture cuffs? That's what we're here today to talk about. So,
well, my trifold's actually in my car where it belongs. I didn't know you were going to put me on the spot with that. But
what is your major malfunction?
That music in the background is my major malfunction.
Oh shit! Is it still going? Hold on, let me.
Loud as shit too.
What? How's that? Is that better?
No, just turn it off till the end.
I thought it was outstanding.
Yeah, when we're not talking.
Give me a bunch of ones in the comments if you love my music. Give me a bunch of twos if you like BZ's not having music.
I don't want to have to start sounding like I'm yelling at a post office and getting accused of being aggressive again.
Órale pues, Bruce R. Cabrón, carnal. Órale pues, amigo, way.
But anyways, just want to let you guys know that if you don't want to end up like Mr. DeCastro, make sure you use your trifold, which, like I said, I don't have with me. But for those who don't know the law very well, the trifold is a great tool. I'm not saying it's absolute, but it's a great tool to make sure you go home safe. Because at the end of the day, it's about your citizen safety.
Did you guys hear something?
What's up, everybody? Check this out. Over here in a small town called Corsicana, Texas.
Right down the road from me.
We walk through this public parking lot.
How come it's not
local
playing
police
right?
department?
It will in a second. He's doing voiceover.
5 minutes.
Unfreaking sad.
This cop claims to be a sergeant. Apparently, he's only a corporal. He lies to us.
Well, they're allowed to lie. Hold on. I got to stop this. I got to stop this. So, look, Chuck, don't get mad. So, Chuck Bronson, dude's a stud, man. Ultimate cop watcher. He's saying, don't get mad at us. The guy's lying to us. Guess what? The Supreme Court says the police in our government has the right to lie to us. So,
no. He's just putting the disclaimer, all cops lie. Cameras don't.
Okay. I'm just letting everybody know that the Supreme Court has already said it's okay for the police to lie to you, which is the reason why I love doing this channel, because I like to point out that our parents, that our teachers, and everything that we did growing up, we were told to always be honest and be truthful. And I try to live by that the best that I can, right? White lies are okay with your kids because you don't want to make the stupid mistakes that you made. But when a government official, a public servant, has been given providence over you to lie, that's a problem to me, especially as a lawyer. That it makes me sick to my stomach to know that my son or my daughter could be illegally set up by a public servant who's just trying to make his bonus, right? Because they make their bonus based on arrests, irrespective of what they tell you publicly. That's how they get promoted. So let's keep on going.
Get tonight. These cops bum rush us, take our phones, turn them off, demand ID. We refuse. They eventually back off. They get educated. They tuck their tail and bail. Unfortunately, I thought I went live in the beginning of this, but my camera failed apparently, and this is what you're going to get. Make sure you hit that thumbs up.
It wouldn't.
Let me know what you think in the comments below.
You're muted, Mike.
Yeah. By the way, everybody, before you move forward and watch the video, make sure to like and subscribe to Chuck Bronson. All right, because this is his video.
And make sure you guys do, because he's live right now in Duncanville, right down the road. Actually, you might want to even tune in, Mike. He's got the.
I don't know how to do that.
Just go to his channel real quick and hit the live stream button.
Oh no shit. Oh, okay. Well, let's get on with the show, and maybe what I'll do is later on.
This video and show him right now. I mean, hell, it's live.
Maybe what I'll do, I'll get this video going, and then I'll check out Chuck for his live, and then if it overlaps or something, I'll just have BZ run his freaking cake hole for a while until we get the
Hell! And you got Bobby Hill in the background. You got Bobby Hill back there too. I mean, News Now Patrick.
We got a light, we got a camera. That's it. You perceived a call from dispatch, and I was trying to defuse it the whole time. You went hands on. You took my phone, my camera, and gave it to this guy. You didn't have to do all that. I was talking to you. We were communicating. defuse, de-escalate. I tried to
Okay.
tell you what we're doing, and you just didn't want to hear it.
You're right. I don't want to hear it because I'm trying to figure
So
out
why
who you
talk to me
are.
if you don't
I'm
wanna
trying to
hear
figure out who you are because I don't want to be live streamed.
Okay,
Yeah,
but you're a police officer.
I
You're
understand
going to
that.
be
I understand
live
that. I've got a camera that I can't touch. I can't edit this. You can edit that,
streamed. It's live
And
stream.
you-
I'm not going to edit nothing.
but you can come back and edit it later too.
Okay, well,
just
your
like you
camera
can.
shows what actually happened, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And while I have no problem with what I do when I have to do it, I do have a problem whenever I think somebody's up here burglarizing cars.
Now you know we're not.
Burglar
Right?
now, but whenever I first pulled up and you pop up with a black object in your hand, I had my weapon pulled because I thought that was a pistol.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Hold on.
God.
Wait, is he racist against black objects? Isn't it Juneteenth? Give me a bunch of ones if you think this cop is racist against black objects. Thank you.
All
You
of a
think I got a
sudden you
pistol?
pop up like
That's 'cause
this
you-
with
you
something
had
in your hand.
You hit the horn, man. You
I
had your
know.
lights on, so I got up so you could see me.
I know.
That's
I know
why.
that.
I don't want you coming around the car and
I
thinking
know
I'm
So-
trying to get cover
So
under
what are
the
you
tire.
gonna do? What are you two gonna do when you run into a random citizen doing this?
What are you talking about?
They
We
don't
don't
have
run
the,
into
they,
citizens.
they don't have the same. They don't have the
They
same
don't run into
laws.
citizens because they're out here doing this. at
Yeah,
night.
they don't have a gun and they won't try to shoot you. Yeah, it's a problem, right?
Worst
Ah.
possible hour of the day.
We go in during the day
because they're
and night,
doing like
Corporal.
basically First Amendment audits.
This
what
is
they
a
are.
First
They're First
Amendment
Amendment auditors, and
What's your plan?
Hey, BZ, I love the way he rolled his eyes. Did you notice that?
Which one, the corporal or the rookie?
The little pissant. I'm sorry, the rookie. The way he rolled his, so you can see the corporal is coaching him, right?
Yeah.
And they're, is like basically, so, oh, First Amendment, right? It reminds me of King George. Just remember, anybody who supports oppression would have supported King George. Less than 3% of the population actually participated physically and actively against the king, and everyone else sat on the fence. And all those people are the ones benefiting today. Their ancestors, those people that sat on the fence, are benefiting from what less than 3% of the population did. These officers represent those fence riders. That's what they were called, the fence riders, the offspring of the fence riders who have worked for the king.
Yeah, too.
Patrick, Joe. I'm off the lake field. Nice to meet you.
You too. Appreciate it.
So let's total this up, guys. So each cop makes a minimum of $80,000 a year, right, BZ, based on jurisdiction.
I would say it's safe to say that the guy, not the guy with the stripes, but the other guys are probably making anywhere from about 80 to 90K a year. So I would say
Okay.
probably just 85 to be on 83, 85 to be on the safe side.
Okay, so and the corporal is making what, about 100 then?
He's probably pulling down about 90, 95. Now remember, that number I'm giving you is before any kind of overtime.
Copy that. And we know that they make most of their money from time and a half by making court appearances for dumb cases like infractions where the amount in controversy is less than what they would actually bring in based upon what they're billing. So it's you can see why our country's $75 trillion in debt. So let's get back into it. I just like to point out the hypocrisy, BZ. Look at all these cops. If you figure their hourly rate, if there's a mathematician in the sidebar, help me out because my brain is fried.
I'll go even further than that. How about you count the $150,000 patrol car?
Well, you gotta amortize it into the hourly rate, and then you have to look at the amortization, and then you have to look at, the car over its lifespan like an accountant would. But if someone is autistic in the sidebar or an accountant, you would be able to do this quickly. But look at all these cops and come up with the numbers.
What I'm saying, Mike, is you got $150,000 for that patrol car, but think about all the maintenance and the gas that goes into it.
I got you.
There's at least $200,000 a year right there with one guy, one patrol car.
Well, that's what I'm saying. With depreciation and everything else, someone in the sidebar who knows accounting could do this for us. But I would say off the top of my head that this First Amendment auditor, the taxpayers are probably going to end up footing about $5,000 to $10,000 in expenses for this particular activity. Let's take a look.
The last car I filmed in was a state trooper. He had his
Yes, sir.
ARs laying out, doors wide open
oh,
at the PD. That's what we look
I
for.
understand.
Like safety issues, things like that.
Listen, I understand that there's a reason for a lot of that, and in some cases I can really say I support the work because of that. Because I'm like, yeah, if I'm an officer who's got like, yeah, like I'm in SWAT, so I've got like flashbangs and AR,
Oh, he's a SWAT. Did you hear that? He's a SWAT. So he's like the cops version of the Navy SEALs, right, BZ?
Yeah, the little bit dumb special forces guy of the police force.
Right. And so we recently saw a video.
More entitled. At least that's what they think.
Oh, there you go. All right. We'll just keep going. All right.
Sniper rifle, and if my car's unsecured and it's just thrown out,
my car,
we need to know those things, or at least my command staff needs to know those things, because I should be reprimanded
Definitely.
for keeping things unsecure that should be either in.
Wait. What did he say? Reprimanded? What would happen in the Marine Corps if you had an unsecured rifle, BZ? Let's hear about that.
Oh man, there's not just one thing. There's about a million things that they can do to you. Him? Don't do it again, Officer Johnny. But yeah, it might storm. You might have to go full gear, hump up Mount Motherfucker. I mean Mount MFer. Might have to go for a 5-mile PT run. May have to go do about 1 million push-ups until you decide, that they're tired. Keep doing push-ups till I'm tired. Yeah, okay, no, I'm good. But no, there's about 1 million things just for. So, I mean, anybody who's watched Full Metal Jacket knows. Anybody who hasn't watched it, go watch it, and you'll know what we're talking about.
So let's see what the people in the sidebar have to say about this. So this cop is saying unsecured weapon deserve to be reprimanded. I'm saying absolutely not. Unsecured weapon.
I think it should be fired.
Fired instantly. Yeah, let's take a look here.
That's negligence if someone gets a hold of your weapon.
Well, Random Fandom says 1, 2, 3, 4. I love Marine Corps. 7, 9, 6, 8. I can't count higher. Crayons taste great. Hey, that's pretty cool. He obviously was a Marine. Race Gas, Government Heroes. Good seeing you, Race Gas. Random Fandom, qualified immunity protects bad cops. Well, no, the administrative state protects bad cops. I mean, when you appoint Supreme Court justices who pass things like Terry versus Ohio to make positive law, that's a problem. So I would say it's the administrative state that is the problem. When you allow large corporations to basically buy and pay your politicians, they want control. And now we have communist China running all of our universities with these Confucian societies, cranking out young Marxists into the workforce. So in public education. So it's only going to get worse, guys. Anyways, let's get back into it. See what this bad chicken has to say.
Is it like a lockbox magazine for the explosives and the gun racks for the rifles and things like that? Yeah. Completely understand that. But what I was trying to explain to you was when you popped up on the other side of this patrol.
By the way, he loves talking about his knowledge of firearms and how great he is. Clearly, he's never served in the military. Give me a bunch of ones if you know this guy's never been in the military.
Whole unit, sir, with a black object in your hand. And I'm like, what is that in his hand? When I realized it's a camera, I put it back down because I realized that's what it is. It's one of because you never saw a gun in my hand whenever I came out, did you?
No, I can't see nothing. You got your.
He almost shot Bobby Hill.
What I'm saying is
no kid.
All I know coming to
this guy right here.
No, look, if you look to the guy he's talking about, that's called News Now Patrick. He looks like Bobby Hill from.
Oh, yeah, he does.
He sounds like him too.
You can tell that he's super excited that he got on the SWAT team.
He's super excited he got to draw his gun that night. Right.
Yeah, there was a long time ago. I'm going to try to find the video of this when they were selling the MPATs or whatever they're called, the trucks with the V-shaped holes. The government was trying to pass them off to the police departments, and some guy comes out and this cop with like a high top. He was like, well, we got to make sure that we can confront the enemy and all this stuff, right? And he's a cop. And of course, who's the enemy? This U.S. citizen, right? The American people. So let's just keep going.
2 people shining lights in cars, which on our daily basis, not y'all's. Y'all's every day is walking around filming people and live streaming.
Oh, yeah.
You okay? Yeah. My daily basis is whenever the citizen, let's say you called in and walked out of your house and you do something in your car and you look over and you see flashlights around the neighbor's car.
He loves being on YouTube.
You call 911 and say, I think somebody's breaking into cars on my street. It's kind of the same thing.
So Corporal, if we do this every day, we do extensive research.
I don't know you or your followers.
Let's hypothetically, we do this.
My norm is not this.
Okay, but
my
we
norm
do extensive
and
research.
our norm.
We do extensive research on civil rights and Texas state law.
Yes.
So we know what we're doing. We know we're not violating.
All that Corporal does is point.
Case law, everything. So what I'm telling you is when
Nice
you're
pen.
demanding ID, failed ID, I mean, do you know about 3802 or do
Yes,
they?
I do.
Okay, so then why would you tell me that it's a crime not to give you the ID?
Because until I've proven that you're not breaking into cars, you saying I'm not breaking into cars does not make it true.
But
Does not
you know
make
what
it
3802 says?
until
You know what 3802 actually says?
Hold on a minute. Why does this even matter? Since when does a public servant have the right to even say any of this stuff, BZ? Help me understand what's going on.
Well, let me ask you this. So, cops, this is like, okay, let me open the cop playbook. No. Until I figure out what you're doing, I have to have your ID so I know who I'm talking to.
Where are your
It's
papers?
every single freaking time, every time. Now, check this out. Now,
Right.
News Now Patrick is about to educate him on, or at least attempt to educate him on 38.02 in the state of Texas about how you don't have to identify unless you've been lawfully arrested or if you've been pulled over in a motor vehicle with an alleged traffic violation.
You want me to go ahead and play that?
Yeah, that's what 3802 is before we stop, by the way. So, cop's trying to get his ID. He's trying to explain the failure to identify statute. But
right, brother.
they're right. Patrick really needs a 5A cop card to learn how to shut up. We've actually nicknamed him Motorola because he talks more than a radio.
Copy that.
If you've been lawfully arrested or you're a witness to a crime, at that point you would have to ID. If you give false information under detainment, that is a crime.
Yes.
But if you're just lawfully detained, you don't have to give ID. If I give you false, no, you don't, sir. If you give false information under detainment, that is a crime. Failure to ID if you give false information, or you're a witness to a crime, or you fail to ID once you're under arrest. Name, home address, and date of birth. If I don't give you that, if you're arresting me for a charge, that is a crime. But just being detained and not giving it to you, that's not illegal. I can tell you, no,
You're being detained for a crime.
Okay,
We have
but
to ID.
when you're arrested, you ID, not detained.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm confused right now, BZ. What's going on here?
Okay, this is cop overload. He's been trained to always get ID and violate somebody's Fourth Amendment. So he's having scatterbrain moment here.
Okay. I'm confused. I just don't know what's.
Pull up. Wait, are you talking about the statute?
Papers, Mav, where are they? You don't
Nine.
Sorry, I just.
Papers now. 9.
Where are your papers? Hold on. 999.
Where are the
Where
papers?
is those papers?
Where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers?
That's funny. That's hilarious.
I'm
Robbie's
trying
not
to
going to give
educate
you
you guys on
I don't need
3802.
your education. I go through continuing education every 2
Okay,
years.
then you should know 3802.
I do know it 3802. It hadn't changed since I joined the police
It's not-
force in
it's
2000.
Now here, let me stop you, Mike.
All right, stand by.
He says he takes. Stop it. He says
sir.
he takes training every 2 years, and
Yeah.
nothing's changed. That's a lie. On September 4th of 2023, the statute changed, and so he doesn't know. Your mic's muted, by the way. He doesn't know what failure to identify is in the state. So what does that tell you about local cops in the state of Texas? They should all be disbanded.
It tells me that he does know that he's just relying on his right to lie.
Well,
He's just lying. He's just lying because cops are trained to lie. And that's why so many people like me, with children especially, are so disappointed in our government. Because how on earth could you empower law enforcement to lie and then expect children to look up to law enforcement? It just makes me disgusted. Don't you agree with that, BZ?
Well, I don't think it's fair that we can't lie to them, but they can lie to us, because that's why buy your cop cards now. 5A cop cards.
Mav, Where are they? You don't have any papers? To the Constitution Capitol!
To the Constitution Capitol! To the Constitution Capitol! Your mic's muted, Mike.
We got to give some props to the people in the sidebar, man.
I need everybody in this chat to donate some money so we get Mike a new mic. Because I'm tired of him having his lips move and nothing come out.
Essen Mund Shisaya. Random fandom.
Nein.
Danke, meine Herr.
Wo ist die Papers?
Wo ist deinen Papieren? Wo ist? Geben Sie mich. All
Okay,
right, let me get
guys,
back-
I gotta add this in the sidebar right now. So everybody who's listening, I'm gonna do this. There is the link. I'm doing it from my PC, so you can click on it and take you right there. Get your trifold in the comment section. Put down that BZ Watchdog sent you, and you'll get a free set of 5A cop cards that come with the driver, and the non-driver set. That way, you can hand them to whoever the hell's in your car, like News Now Patrick, aka Motorola. So shut up.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we saw that the other night when he went to jail. Chuck invoked his fifth, even though he was in handcuffs in the back of the car. Chuck went home.
Yeah.
He who speaks first loses.
Oh man, that was prophetic, dude. Except when they asked you questions like,
Where are your papers? Matt, where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers? To the Constitution Capitol!
Some case law and other things that go along with these laws that affect how we do our police
But you're
job.
lying to me about the law, sir. You're telling
I'm
me
not
if
lying to you
You
about
said if I'm
anything.
detained, I got to give ID.
Yes, you do.
No, you
Yes, you
don't. So if I go talk to the chief, or I set up a meeting with the city officials, they're going to
Here
tell
comes the name dropping.
me city policy that
Probably.
you should be allowed to take the camera from me.
Probably.
You should be allowed to try to arrest me for failed ID when
I
it's,
was trying to arrest you for burglary of a motor vehicle.
You didn't
If I
But you
had
had-
enough-
You couldn't articulate any facts of it.
wait, what did he just say? I was trying to
I was
arrest you?
trying to arrest you for burglary of a car.
You got to be kidding me. Well, that's crazy, man.
Let's see them charges try to stick.
Anything
You're just
of that
going off
sort.
what he
All right.
told you.
It was
All
just
we're
a
doing is
guess.
arguing right now.
We don't wanna
I go
argue.
off of a reliable, trustworthy source where you are not.
Did you see us do
Okay.
anything as far as
You were
breaking
crouched down behind a car. I don't know what you were doing.
Oh,
You could
wait.
have been breaking into
People
the car.
versus Flores.
Hold on, sir.
Go ahead. Talk to me, BZ.
People versus Flores. Supreme Court just overturned it because of something just like that. They crouched down in a high crime area, claimed he was doing something, did a Terry stop when it wasn't warranted. They saw that the car was flashing lights because they touched his keys in the car. Found a crack pipe in plain view. Searched the car. Found a gun. The guy took a plea deal. Got overturned in the Supreme Court of California. All because there was suspicion of evading the police by ducking behind a car, and he was tying his shoe. And these guys are being accused of ducking behind a car with flashlights. So when did ducking a car in a free America become so reasonably articulable suspicion that it allowed you to? I mean, there's no look. You may have a hunch that they're doing something, but until you actually have articulable suspicion, it's nothing but a thought crime.
Right.
A thought
So
crime.
that's right. And so what BZ's talking about, we call it RAS as lawyers, or RAS, reasonable articulable suspicion. It's sort of like a threshold below probable cause. It gives them the ability to conduct an investigation, basically. And it's the excuse they always use. But once they have it, or they have what they call PC, or probable cause, they'll use that as an excuse to put you in the torture cuffs, start patting you down, searching you. And it never ends well, because remember, their job is to make an arrest. And remember, they support the private prison industrial complex and the public prison industrial complex, which generates billions of dollars in jobs, which creates union jobs. And those unions donate money to one particular political party. So they basically prop up the Leviathan. And I've talked about this before. You have natural law, John Locke, which I am of that school. John Locke is the father of the Bill of Rights. John Locke was the great lesson giver to Thomas Jefferson and our other founders. And our whole Bill of Rights is based on natural law, which is the concept that all of your rights come from an all-powerful creator, and they can never be subjugated by the state or the government. They can never be taken. They can never be taken away by a mob. And that's the concept of natural law. And so as a natural law theorist, you always get a little scared when you see officers and government officials talking like this, because he's basically saying, I don't need a warrant. You look suspicious. And by the way, I know a lot about guns, and I have these stripes on my arm. And by the way, you're going to jail. And the only thing that probably stopped these guys from going to jail is because they were recording. Do you agree with that, BZ?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, Bobby Hill would shut up more. I mean, Chuck knows what he's doing. But this is a prime example of why Terry v. Ohio needs to be overturned. If you're not caught actually doing something and you don't have a warrant, they shouldn't be able to do anything. This is why we need less cops and more natural law.
I agree with that, brother. Let's go ahead and see what this crazy-eyed cop has to say.
Unhinged.
All I saw was a flashlight.
Unhinged.
You saw me on the ground.
And somebody crouched down beside the vehicle. I didn't see you laying down. I saw you pop up.
Okay, 'cause you came up with the-
Look at all those cops, dude. 1, 2. Look at all the patrol cars.
If you want to have a talk off camera, I would love to do that, but I don't.
I'm saying about 10 grand for this stop right here. Look at this
You hear what
cop.
he said? He said he wants to, if he wants to talk off camera.
Yeah, but the problem is that he's a public official, and he holds an office of public trust, and we have a right under the First Amendment and a duty to hold all government employees accountable. That is what our founding fathers wanted. They wanted to have the citizenry to be in a position where they could hold public servants accountable. And instead, the servants are becoming the master, and more people are waking up to the fact that that's happening. And the brainwashing going on in the university and public school system, the flag burning, and all these things, you see it manifesting itself right here with this guy right here.
I don't do this live stream thing. All right. I don't mind having conversation with you, because then I think if the cameras aren't on,
we only do it for our safety.
On,
that's
I understand.
it.
What I'm saying is this officialness, and we want to talk man to man, human, non-cop. I do know 38.
So why are you saying
I
you
think
can't?
you don't.
So hold on a minute. Is he going to turn off his body cam then when he has this confidential conversation where he's still allowed?
That would have been a good question for Chuck to ask.
Where he's still allowed to investigate, right? He's still allowed to lie and get what they call a caller, right? They call it a caller, right? So their goal is to initiate what's called a consensual encounter. Once you start talking to an officer, you've engaged in what's called a consensual encounter. And his job is to make a caller. He's trying to make an arrest. All those cop cars and all those officers standing around, they're not there for fun. They're there to raise revenue. That is their job. They're what they call road pirates in the in the defense attorney community, in the criminal defense attorney community. But their job is to make an arrest, to make a caller. And these guys, these auditors, their job is to hold the government accountable. The First Amendment commands them to do that. And so here's what we have now is this great battle between the Leviathan and John Locke. And you see it full circle right in front of your eyes.
Need to move along. You already said the conversation's done. We're done.
Go to Google. And
No,
go look at the lawsuits that I've won. It's not failed ID if you do not give your ID. You know that? You know I've been arrested for failed ID and they don't file charges. And I went.
So
are you saying I'm not breaking?
So hold on a second. I kind of screwed up towards the end there because
it's all good. It was pretty much done after that.
So just really quick. So I just want to tell everybody really quick. It's a really bad idea to admit or confess anything when you're in any kind of a confrontation or even a conversation or any kind of friction between a law enforcement officer and yourself, because you're the one who's going to go to jail. Their job is to conduct an investigation and to try and lie or deceive you to get you to agree to allow yourself to be investigated. It's consensual. It's called the consensual encounter. And that is the argument that the prosecutor will use. He consented. He agreed to waive his Fifth Amendment right. And so that guy saying, hey, I've been arrested before, instantly that gave the officer I have reasonable articulable suspicion perhaps to investigate this guy for warrants or for probation or parole. Don't ever do that, guys, because all the jokes aside, BZ Watchdog and I, we have that military humor, kind of that sick sense of humor. But at the end of the day, we really do care about people. That's why we volunteered to sacrifice our lives. And that's why we're both screwed up emotionally and every other way physically from all that crazy stuff, because we went the extra mile for you guys. And we're seeing it happen in real time right in front of us. This cop right here is out of control. He's basically saying, you don't have the right to talk to me or ask questions because I'm on camera.
and I'm going to tell you, a lot of these cops in Texas get the same education and all act this way. They don't know their head from their ass.
And Jim Duthit says, cop splaining off camera. No. And that's right, Jim. He's just, we'll put that up there.
No,
Jim
he's trying to manipulate your proof because you go off camera. He's still recording.
He's still recording. Right, dude. That's why we have BZ here, guys, because this guy thinks outside the box. And
never turn your cameras off. Always, like Chili says, always, always, always FTP, film the police.
And Jim Duthit saying always invoke the Fifth Amendment. So that's an important one.
Invoke your Fifth, invoke your Fourth, invoke your First, and never, ever, ever waive any of your rights.
Yeah, and you're welcome, Stacy Parenti. We love coming on and entertaining you guys and having a good time and hanging out. By the way, make sure everybody
freedom right there.
Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button too, guys, so other people will find our content. The more you guys share our channel and stuff, the more we're going to get the message out.
Hey, Mike, you can roll that other video, because now that's in a very aggressive, giving them a Terry stop reason.
All right.
But we're going to go to more of a passive auditor.
Copy that. Okay. Watcher. Now we're going to go into more of a passive cop auditor video, and then we're going to go ahead and do my slideshow that I created for you guys.
And just so you guys know who that auditor and cop watcher is, it's actually one of my videos.
Oh my goodness. No way, dude. All right. Well, let's see what this bad chicken has to say over here. Let me really quick while I...
I think it's my very first live stream.
I'm going to try to make it bigger.
I was sitting up because they had a road pirate station set up at the top of the hill.
Road pirate station. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the boat was rocking, waiting for anybody to come over the hill.
All right, let me get to this bad chicken. You guys ready?
Action's about to happen.
Now, what you guys talk about? How close?
And here he goes. Look, I kid you not, man. It's like perfect setup for this, dude. It's crazy. This last month.
Look how close that is.
Yeah.
Let's time, and he's got a record 3.5 minutes for writing a ticket.
He really does. I've timed him.
Oh my gosh, that's wild, man.
Look how he does it.
Who's got the timer on?
He's scanning the registration with his little machine.
That's wild.
I've actually scared those cops out of that area so they don't go back there anymore. I don't think I've seen them there
from watching him last month, watching him this month. He doesn't escalate. He just writes tickets.
I don't think they've been there since
the timer on him. See how he rolled up his window? And see, good girl, she turned her phone on. Make sure you record. Record, seriously. Turn it on and record it.
Always record. Always.
And I'm actually talking to her. That's how close I am.
Wow. That's awesome, dude.
Hopefully she's got her phone on. You're recording, right? Okay, good. Record.
Try to get me for obstruction, copper. Go back and write your ticket, little doggy. I'm safe in my car.
I got to stop really quick. Look above your head right there, dude. Sorry, guys. Can everybody see me? Hey, Gloria, good seeing you. I'm so bummed that you weren't able to join our.
Oh, my God. And the Messiah of supporters arrives.
Orale, you brought us back home, girl. We're so stoked that you're here with us. So now enjoy some video, eh? Orale, carnales.
Just in time for the Watch Dogs video.
Chingon,
Fish
carnal.
on at 8:24. Like I said, if there's no hiccups, she'll be out of here like in 2.5 minutes. This guy doesn't try to escalate. He doesn't try to search cars. He just writes tickets.
Road pirate at its best.
And the best part about this whole thing is not interfering because I'm just sitting here. They're bringing the fish to me. Cope dog, how long's it been? Because your timer's a little off from mine.
Oh, yeah. This one, this guy hits her for window tint. He never even measured her window tint, ever.
Of course.
Well, no, you put 8:24, but I was already like at 15 minutes or whatever. So for some reason, the timestamp wasn't working correctly. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You went by. Okay. Sorry, man. You're like an hour ahead of me. I just realized what you meant by the 8:24 and the 8:27.
So it's been 3 minutes.
Sorry, man. I'm still trying to finish that first can of Red Bull.
So he didn't break his record?
No, this dude's buddy
It was like 3.5 minutes.
took over for him like at about 9.
Wait, BZ, you're throwing the guy off. You're the reason why this guy couldn't break his 3-minute record, right? Because he really wanted to ask a lot of questions that he couldn't because you were there, right? Like,
well, you know what? With this guy, I don't think he really cares about the extra shit. I think because he's in the traffic division, I think all he cares about is how quick he can write those tickets. He clocked her for speeding, but you'll hear this in a second where I ask him. He comes back with like this big freaking like Walmart receipt of tickets.
Yeah.
And I asked her, "What'd you get hit with?" She goes, "Speeding and window tint." I said, "I would take that to court because he never measured your window tint. You got it on video, right?"
Yeah.
That's why you always film the damn cops.
That makes sense. I mean, it's perfect. It's just
how are they window experts? They get shit and lie all the time. So they get shit wrong all the time.
All the time. All the freaking time, man. It's just like
all they want to do is hit you with that ticket so you just pay it and move on about your day. Problem is you fight it and they got to show up at court. Maybe doing that on purpose. Maybe he wants the overtime to fight that thing in court.
I think they do. They want to make that extra cash, right? Because they all want to get off the force and get a job at CNN or MSNBC. Because they're tired.
Are you gonna finish the rest of that video when he comes back?
I am. I'm just letting you know that these cops are tired of asking.
Where are your papers, Mav? Where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers? To the concentration camp with you. To the concentration camp with you.
9:30 my time last month. He wanted to get involved and actually say something to me, but see, there he goes. That was quick, like 3.5 minutes.
And look, and he's gone. Look at this. Now watch what I say to her.
And boom, done. Off. I know that's the fastest ticket I've ever seen.
That was fast. Dude, don't mess around.
Did he? Hey, did he measure it? Did he measure it? You can fight that. He never took out the thing to measure it. Take it to court. Take it to court. Seriously. There's a measuring thing that measures the tint, so you're good.
Dude, you are this guy's nemesis, homeboy. These guys are going to start targeting your ass.
Now keep
man.
in mind, this is one of my early cop watches.
Man, dude.
Think about how far I've come since, like, I think March or whatever. I think it was March. I think this was March
Dude.
when I filmed this.
You got big brass balls, homie. These guys aren't going to be happy because they're not going to be able to raise revenue, and that's how they keep their job, by fleecing the people.
If they'll just, you know what, take it to court, and then he'll go back to the top of the hill and post.
So he
up
wrote
again.
it for dark window tint, but then didn't even take out the window tint measurement.
And you got it on tape. Hopefully, you gave her.
That's why I told her just now. Take it to court. She has a record on the inside that he never used the thing to measure her window tint. I mean, he wrote her a ticket for speeding, dude. She was speeding. I ain't gonna lie. She came down that hill coming fast, but I mean, she could have been doing 45 in that 40 that's posted. Could have been doing 50, 60. Who knows how fast she actually was going? He got her for speeding. That's what he writes ticket. But he always tries to add window tint. But what I've always noticed, he doesn't take out his window tint. There he goes again. He didn't even turn all the way around like he did the last time. He made a U-turn. He didn't use his tool to actually effectively measure the window tint. That's why I told her, take that to court because she can beat that window tint rap. He lied on a government document, which means that whole ticket is going to be thrown out. That's admissible. Wrote her for a charge that he didn't even test. And he's going to use, based on my experience and training, yeah, well, that's not accurate. There's about freaking 1,000 levels of window tint. So how do you know which level that was?
That's right. That's exactly right.
Tear that one apart.
That's why I told her, take it to court. No reason to argue. Oh, I'm sure he checked for warrants.
Oh, yeah. He ran her plates before he pulled her over.
Take that. I would have taken that shit to court. If you ain't going to pull out your little window tint and say that my window tint's too dark, and these tint companies, they're not just going to slap illegal window tint on your stuff unless you go to one of these illegal places and pay extra. So chances are that girl does not have illegal window tint on her thing. He just wrote her for that, hoping that she pays the fine.
Yep.
Hey, Cub Dog, go get it, brother. I'm gonna stay live as long as this dude's out here writing tickets, because if they're gonna keep pulling right in front of me, that's 2 for 2 right in front of me. I mean, all I gotta do is just, like you said, fish on, man, fish on. They just come right here to me.
Yep. That's right.
Problem is he better write legitimate tickets. Now that I know he's freaking lying on tickets.
Hey, hold up. I gotta say something right here, man. So Officer Dominic Izzo, dude, I'm so stoked that you showed up. So I've been following this dude's channel. I know a lot of the people on my channel don't like cops. I have a different point of view. I tend to look at people on a person-to-person level. I try not to put people in categories. So Izzo is one of these guys who I've checked out a lot of his stuff on his channel. I think the dude's pretty legit. So check him out. You know, you guys have the right to think whatever you want, but I'm an equal opportunity hater. You know, if you want to come on and be respectful, you can hate me. My job is
Mike, just to let you know, I was going to say what he just said.
Yep.
And that's how I feel. Officer Dominic, he called it right there. I mean, we got Ryan, the American Texan on YouTube and the Angry Texan on Twitter. We've had him up here. I talk to him still to this day. We go back and forth on Twitter, text messages, phone calls.
That's right.
Anytime I really need some more police insight that I don't have,
right.
I kind of use him as a point of contact, along with many other contacts I have.
Yeah.
But he's right. Bad cops, man. Unfortunately, there's more bad cops than good cops. And that's because when you become a good cop and join the force, you get taught the bad and wrong way. You fall into rank and file. You want to secure your government job. So you do what you're told. You become, like Chili says, a beta male and do what you're told.
He's right.
And you're not allowed to think. Through the academy, these guys do not learn logic and critical thinking anymore.
Ever.
They're just order takers.
They don't teach us that in public schools either. I
would love to take Officer Dominic Izzo on an auditor ride along, though.
We should have him come on the channel sometime as a guest, and because I think he takes more of the pro LEO side, which is fine with me. I just want to have the debate. If you're someone who is a peace officer and believes in being a peace officer as opposed to a law enforcement officer, which means cops have every right not to enforce stupid laws.
His last comment at that ride along, man, it's hilarious.
Are we done with this video? You want me to keep playing?
I mean, we're pretty much done with that one traffic stop, but it's pretty much the same setup for an hour and a half. They just keep pulling up right next to me.
All right, because I've got this other one that you wanted me to play about it was a Duncanville one. It looks like it's at a post office or something. This one?
No. That was Chuck's live that's over at the PD. It's too late. It's already over. It's done. He's no longer live streaming. I don't care about that anymore.
Okay.
It was a live thing. That's why I was trying to get you to do it, because it was live.
Oh, got it.
But since you didn't want to do it, it's too late. It's gone.
Copy that.
But now you could go to the other one that I have. I don't know if anybody's really seen it. That one where it says cops looking suspicious.
Well, hold up. I just want to make sure in that video that you have, does anybody ever ask you?
Yeah, how's your papers? Matt. Oh, you don't have any papers? To the concentration camp with you. To the concentration camp with you.
Oh, I get a kick out of that. Well, hold on, man, because look, we're already like almost
do the slideshow. That's right. I forgot you had a slideshow, Bill.
Yeah, we're almost an hour in, and I do want to show your stuff, but first I want to give everyone a Team DLZ update. I know that almost everybody on my channel is a big time follower and supporter of Team DLZ, or a Team DLZ member, or you guys support Chile de Castro from Delete Law. So I just want to let you guys know, again, it's looking like he's going to be out sometime in July. And so if you guys want to reach out to BZ, I'm trying to arrange like a coming home party for him in Las Vegas, because he's in Clark County Detention Center. So I'd like to, set something up where we can pick him up in a limo, and take him somewhere and have some fun. I know he doesn't drink, but we could still get him, some really good chow and have some fun. We could live stream it. Probably be the biggest.
Get him a very big protein shake.
Yeah, probably be the biggest live stream he's ever going to have. So I just want to let you guys know that's the goal. And then with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and get into the slideshow really quick. So as you guys know, my channel is all about government accountability. I believe that the ultimate calling for a citizen is to hold public servants accountable. And because otherwise we know that power corrupts, and we know that now, especially because we're no longer in many levels of government a constitutional republic, we've been democratized, which our founding fathers warned us against, right? And as a result, popular culture has now made it possible to dethrone people, and you have cancel culture and all that. That's what our founding fathers warned us about, the mob being able to destroy the individual. And our founding fathers put the individual above all else. You can't support minorities until you support the ultimate minority, which is the individual. And individual rights are everything. And so cop watchers and auditors are very necessary to hold public servants like that psycho cop you just saw with the crazy eyes, who was really, really proud of being in SWAT, special weapons and tactics, really likes the concept of making an arrest. That turns him on. So in order to deal with people like that in the real world, you need to understand your rights. And in this case, you need to familiarize yourself with your constitutional rights, including the right to remain silent. And we saw in that video, BZ, and you can, interject anything at any time, that the one guy, I forgot his name. What was his name? The guy who was talking about how he's been arrested, admitting.
Oh, Bobby Hill, PayPal Patty, aka Motorola. That would be Patrick Roth, News Now Patrick.
All right. And look, I have nothing negative to say about Patrick. I'd like him to come on because I want to help him to not get in trouble or have problems.
Oh, he won't listen to you. He won't listen to you. He thinks he knows everything. Okay,
but admitting and confessing things to law enforcement is a real big mistake. Don't ever do it, guys. You need to familiarize yourself with your constitutional rights and the right to remain silent. Now, there's a fine line between remaining silent and talking too. Like you could be like Chili and be very confrontational, but that is going to trigger most of these guys to want to attack you and lock you up because they're trained in the academy that they have to take control, they have to take charge, and anybody who talks back against them is the enemy. That's literally how these guys think. And look, I have no problem. There's a lot of people. I tried out for the Sheriff's Academy. I almost became an officer myself as a lawyer, just because I wanted to get out there and do the right thing and help people. But I realized after talking to a lot of active duty cops that you're not allowed to do justice. Your job is to basically rake in money. And the less money you rake in, the harder it is for you to get a promotion and you sort of ostracize. So basically, if you're an auditor, you just need to remain silent as much as possible. And if you're not required to answer questions, in other words, some states are ID states where you're required to present an ID to the police, which God knows why that would be the law. I think
Mike,
that's unconstitutional. Go ahead, BZ.
Mike, I think as an auditor, we're a little bit more advanced than cop watchers and just regular Joe Schmo citizen driving down the street as far as in knowledge and what to do, when to do, and how to deal with the police. Right. Cop watchers are typically aggressive. The whole point of watching is to watch, not to get involved, not to obstruct. Chili, I would say, was cop watching and was not objecting. And you've got these other guys that get aggressive and scream at the cops, and you wonder why they get hooked up. Now, on the other hand, an auditor has got a little bit more vast knowledge, I think, with case law and the laws. And I think talking to a certain point, doing certain things, and setting up for certain things that will allow you to invoke your fifth as what I like to call ace in the hole. Because if you've got 3 cops screaming at you and you want them to stop, easiest way to do it is I invoke my Fifth Amendment right there. They shut up, they stop. Because now what can't they do? They can't ask you any more questions. Now everything kind of starts to de-escalate a little bit. So I use that as an ace in the hole. I don't use that right off the bat. It's, if you don't know your rights, you don't know the law, it's great to do it up front. But if you're a little bit more educated, use it as an ace in a hole to slow things down and try to de-escalate so that way you don't get hauled off in torture cuffs. But again, that's my style. There's a few other auditors out there that stick with that style, but some other people are just out for clicks, likes, and views, and that's not what I'm about.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's definitely true. I really appreciate the hard work and effort that you put into doing these public record requests. It's really easy to stand there and yell at cops and postal workers and try to get yourself arrested, but it's another thing entirely to prove that the local law enforcement agency never had the legal authority to make an arrest on federal property. And that's probably why the prosecutors have such a hard time charging those cases, because their supervisors are probably saying, we have no jurisdiction. But the young, Soros prosecutors are like, no way, screw these guys. These guys are probably Trump supporters, right? They're out trying to hold public servants accountable. And so they're like, let's get these guys. And so you have that going on too. That's kind of angering to me. Give me a bunch of ones in the sidebar if you agree that the political views of the arrestee should have zero bearing on anything that law enforcement agencies do. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree with that. You should always ask for an attorney if you are being questioned, especially after you invoke the right to remain silent. So that would be your Sixth Amendment. So your Fifth Amendment would be your right to remain silent. I'm just sharing this information to you from my experience as a criminal defense attorney and also as being a victim of bad cops.
Your Mike.
In the past. Yeah, I see that. Now, what you do want to do if you're forced to have some kind of a confrontation or some kind of reaction with law enforcement is to stay calm and polite. Now, remember, being polite is the ultimate form of revenge. If you are polite and kind when someone's attacking you, it short circuits their ability to think rationally, even though they were irrational to begin with for trying to be that way with you. But it circumvents their ability to really think, because they're expecting you to react in a way that's confrontational. So always be kind and respectful and polite, not just for that reason, but because you are being filmed by them. And we know that they selectively edit their body cam footage. We know that they have a tradition in history, law enforcement agencies, somehow or another, of getting body cam footage back to people that mysteriously has a lot of the exculpatory evidence deleted. So because of that,
Here, I got something to say real quick.
go ahead, buddy.
So if you go back to my North Richland Hills audit fail, I actually did that with the police. I was polite, but I was also sticking zingers in there with that little Verto judo.
Right.
But on my other post office audit fail that I'm still editing, you heard a little bit of the 911 call earlier.
Yeah.
I got the police report back, and one of the cameras failed to activate.
There you go.
So that's a prime example of what you were just talking about in two different scenarios at a post office.
That's how they do it, though. They'll so under the Izizaga case, it's a very famous Supreme Court case. Check it out. It has to do with discovery. In a criminal case, you're entitled to exculpatory evidence as the defendant. But there's a lot of scumbag prosecutors like, Kamala Harris, for example, who go out of their way to try and hide that exculpatory evidence so they can make an arrest, because that helps their political career. So just keep that in mind. So Jody Shiloh, really good seeing you. Jody Shiloh just gave me a thumbs up for that. Really quick, let me just kind of like break this down.
That wasn't a thumb. That was a different finger.
Oh, it was a different one? Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I'm just messing with you.
And good seeing you again, Will J. Rockstar. And Parka says, Dom, are you a police officer? I don't know if that's meant for me, because of course everybody knows that I'm a Dom, right?
No, they're talking about Officer Dominic Izzo.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what happened to Izzo, but I definitely would love to have him come on the show. I like engaging.
It looks like Parka retired, so it looks like he's a retired cop
Right.
out of Parka, wherever the hell that's
cool. I like engaging people who were law enforcement. And I'll tell you, a lot of the guys who served on the force are the first ones to say, damn, I like you, Mike, because, what you're talking about is right. Because as a peace officer, you're supposed to do justice, not just make a caller. And, having worked for the prosecutor's office in LA myself, I can tell you that we had some really good filing deputies and some really bad ones. And the good ones would just do DA rejects all day long on shit cases that, even though they probably could get a conviction, in their heart of hearts, they knew it was a BS case. So now I did put in here, provide identification. If asked, provide identification or necessary documentation. But I put that there because I don't want to get accused of attorney malpractice, because I don't know what jurisdiction you live in. If you live in a stop and ID state, you may have to show your ID.
Still unconstitutional.
It's still unconstitutional, but I don't want.
But if you're in a motor, I'll tell you right now, if you're a driver of a motor vehicle, it's mandatory no matter what state you're in.
Understood. But what I'm getting at, everybody, is it depends on the state that you're in, and I don't want to get accused of giving you like bad advice. So I always like to tell you, I try to share general legal principles. I'm licensed to practice law in California and Texas. And I do this because I think it's part of my civic duty as an American citizen to educate people as to the proper techniques of holding their government accountable. Because I think it's super important to hold public servants accountable. I have children, and I don't want them to live in a communist Chinese style, like how it is in California now. I don't want my children to grow up in a situation like that, where it's like the Cultural Revolution and all this crazy stuff, the pseudoscience, highly politicized stuff. I don't want that for my kids. And so the best way for me to help them is to help educate you guys. So the next thing is, if you do an audit, document it, record it, use your phone, and make sure you have a clear record, and make sure that if you do get locked up, that your lawyer enters that crap into evidence, guys. We saw that Chile didn't even have his stuff entered into evidence. He couldn't, all that stuff that he filmed wasn't even part of his trial. Now, make sure to ensure that everything's up to date. You know, if you need a permit, like for example, if you're engaged in a protest and the city requires a permit, make sure you have everything. Consult a lawyer if you're arrested. Make sure you have a lawyer on standby. So if you do get arrested or whatever, you got somebody who can take your call. Make sure you have a code word to use. So if you need to text your lawyer, they can, you know, leave their deposition or whatever. Make sure you have that kind of a relationship so they can help you. Otherwise, you know, good luck getting through to a lawyer because we work like crazy hours and we're always busy in a deposition or something. Never, ever consent to a search, ever. That's crazy that you would do that, right? I mean, think about that. How dumb could you be? The best way, if you're, especially if you're like a weaker person, like a weak-minded person, and you're scared to say no, just say, look, I really want to help you, but I really need to talk to my attorney first. That's all you got to do.
You know, Mike, I like to mess with them a little further. I'm going to go ahead and let them search, and the minute they start to reach their hand in, I'm going to revoke consent. Get out of my car.
Well, okay, you can do that. I'm not going to do that. Now, let me just see really quick. Hey,
Invoke
Chevy,
it, revoke it.
Now, follow procedures, comply with requests. If you're asked to provide specific stuff, we talked about that. That's we don't want
What
to
is
get
this,
into that
Nazi
again.
Germany, man?
Well, again, I said it's
Papers,
based,
9 to the concentration camp to go.
it's based upon the laws of your state. So when I say that you need to do this stuff, I'm saying make sure to do your research first. Me personally, if I'm in my car, I know I've got to give them a copy of my driver's license and registration. If I don't, I'm going to get hauled off to jail. I'm pretty sure about that. But if I'm a bystander, if I'm someone filming on the street, I'm pretty sure that I'm allowed to be secure in my papers and personal effects. So that's the way that I'm going to approach it. But because I am a lawyer and I'm in a position with much greater knowledge than you about the laws, I'm saying, look, guys, don't take my word for gospel for your state, because I'm not licensed in every state in the union. And look, each officer is going to have a different way they handle this. So my big thing is I just want you guys to be safe. After the audit, if you don't get arrested, you know, or after you get out of jail, hopefully you send everything to the cloud, because we know that law enforcement has a tradition and history of stomping on people's cameras and audio and video.
I've even got one better. Always, always, always get your YouTube channel to 50 subscribers so you can always go live stream.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's what
'Cause
Chuck
the minute
Bronson
you go
does,
to,
right?
I think it's 50 subscribers.
Yeah.
The minute you get pulled over, live stream, because what happens is, guess what? It's live right now and they can't delete it.
Got it.
And Chuck actually has a live stream app where even if they shut your phone off, it still continues
That's cool.
to record. Because we saw that
Love
when Patrick got arrested the other night, we heard him Motorola to the cops while Chuck was in the back of the police car.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And he was when he got thrown in that police car, right before they put him in there, right, BZ.
Yeah, what they did was when they pulled Chuck out and put him in handcuffs, they like what they thought was turned off his phone and set it up on the hood.
And then they asked him,
Where are your papers?
What are your papers?
Where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers?
To the go.
Man, I just can't get over that. That is just the best.
That video is pretty funny. I ain't gonna lie.
It is funny. Where are your papers? So, personal safety. Try to always avoid physical resistance. Never physically resist or obstruct a cop.
Yeah, don't slap or swat at the cop like Chili did. No.
Know your emergency contacts too. Like I said before, obviously you want to have like a family member, your lawyer, probably a bail bondsman. I mean, don't just get out there and, take a couple of hits off a crack pipe and start filming guys. You're going to end up in jail. You got to know what the hell you're doing. And look, be sovereign. Always be sovereign. Remember, in our country, sovereignty lies with the people. Always be sovereign. If you act with grace, if you act with strength, if you act with command presence, other people are going to recognize that you're a boss. And law enforcement officers are no different than anyone else in the population.
Yeah, they are. They're the biggest criminals.
as far as recognizing who's in charge, and they'll see right away that you're a boss, and they'll be forced to respect you regardless, because ultimately, whether they respect you now or they respect you later, at some point they will be forced to reckon with the fact that they mess with someone who is sovereign. So that's pretty much the end of my slideshow. And
another way too is you lock your car door, throw your keys out in the grass. They can't find them.
Oh, that's funny.
Just kidding.
Well,
Don't do that.
So let's go ahead and take a look in the sidebar, because the reason why we're here is for the people. So,
and you said always film. I know you said, like, make sure you back it up to the cloud, but man, always film the cops, man.
Always film. And Free Country says, I consider any attempt by a cop to take any property is not allowed to have as a felony armed robbery, and will act to stop it. Well, Free Country, you can do that, but just keep in mind they probably have better and bigger firepower than you. And hey, Will Rockstar, how's it going, bro? Good seeing you, man.
Hey, that whoever made that comment, was that Will Rockstar that made that comment?
No, it was the guy before him. It was Free Country.
Yeah, Free Country. Okay, just let him know if he wants to be a victim like Rodney King. Sure, go ahead.
Check this out. Officer Dominic Izzo says body cam.
I'm not resisting.
Officer Dominic Izzo says body cam footage should stream live and 24/7. Dude, that's a great idea. And so we saw how resistant that corporal was to being filmed. He did not want to be on tape, right? And of course, they always rely on, well, I'm filming. Well, yeah, because they know that they can pull the exculpatory evidence out later, and they always like turn it off when they want to have a conversation.
By the
with their
way,
sergeant.
Out of 4 requests,
yeah,
3 of which I was actually in the body cam. The 3 that I requested is the 3 they denied. The one that I got of somebody else, they gave me, but they won't give me the 3 of me.
Yeah, look, guys, if you give me a bunch of ones, if you'd like it, if Officer Izzo would come on one of our shows and do it, like just talk with us. Look, Officer Izzo, if you want to come on, we've had cops on before. I'm not anti-police in any way, shape, or form.
You should have Officer Izzo and Ryan come on. That would be fun.
I would love to have peace officers and law enforcement come on, because I want my audience to know what your observations are, what what you guys do and how you guys feel. The guys who are whistleblowers, the guys who have gotten screwed by politicians who use you as a rubber mat. You enforce all their stupid regulations and edicts, and then they blame it on you when you use force to enforce it, which is your job. And I think a lot of cops are really fed up too, guys, because I think a lot of people go onto the force because they want to make the world a better place. And instead you see all these commie politicians enforcing these nonsense laws, and then they're being forced to enforce them. And they're the ones ultimately who are being thrown under the bus. Give me a bunch of ones if you at least somewhat agree with that. Give me a bunch of twos if you disagree with that statement, because I'm not here to be mad at you or argue or have you hate me. I just want people to have their own.
There was a lawyer, I guess that could be considered a lawyer comment. I answered no, but it says any mini up there says, is auditing while live streaming for YouTube channel considered commercial filming? No, it wouldn't be, because it falls under the fair use play. You can look at the terms and conditions of policy of YouTubing. It's more of a fair use thing. However, any kind of state-ran media or any kind of DVD or commercial print or anything like that that's going to be sold or used for money purposes, that would be considered commercial.
Okay.
Live streaming on your YouTube channel? No.
Well, I can just tell you from a lawyer's perspective that if you're streaming for a commercial purpose, then it would be considered commercial. But if you're streaming for a non-commercial purpose, then it's not. And the problem is, before we had the Supreme Court rule that you could film cops, what do the district attorneys do? They tried to charge people with wiretapping law violations. So I just wanted people to understand, I'm a proponent of deleting laws. Delete laws, don't pass laws. And that's, by the way, support the Delete Laws channel, Chili's channel, and buy a cop card and support his channel until he gets out, because we should be supporting people who want to delete laws instead of passing more. Less government means more freedom. And if you have kids, especially, you want your kids to grow up in a world that was more like the world you had, Like, like when I grew up in the 80s, what an awesome time that was. I mean, now kids don't even know what gender they are, and their school teachers have convinced them that they don't know what gender they are. And that's what's going on. Just crazy, crazy stuff going on. And we need to just do a reset like yesterday, guys. Give me a bunch of ones if you think we need to do a reset. Public servants need to learn that we're the master and not them. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree with that. So again, in our last show, I talked about forming parallel systems. So right now, let's form a parallel system today. Everybody make sure to like and subscribe over to BZ Watchdog's channel and support him in any way that you can so he can continue in these public records request efforts. What he's doing, exposing the scumbaggery between local law enforcement and the post office in Texas where he's at, is really amazing to me. We've got local law enforcement going on to federal facilities and charging people who are exercising their fundamental rights under the Code of Federal Regulations to film at those locations. And these local law enforcement are arresting people under state law, even though they're on a federal building that's governed solely and exclusively by federal law. And BZ is exposing that. And I feel, and I'm confident now that he's got enough evidence to where if he was to attach that to a demur or a motion to strike or a motion to suppress evidence in a criminal case of that nature, that the court would have no choice but to throw out those charges. And so that is an amazing thing, guys. And I think it's very rare to meet somebody who is willing to dig into the underpinnings and really understand the law. It's easy to be an auditor or a cop watcher and yell at cops and cause trouble, but it's another thing entirely to hold them accountable under the Constitution, which is what we're all called to do. So BZ, I want you to go ahead and brag about yourself and talk about how great you are right now, please. Thank you.
Man, I'm not great. I'm getting better every day. That's all I can say is every day that I go out there, I'm thinking about different ideas I come up with, different ways I can strategize, things I'm going to say, things that I can do to maybe help someone. I helped, I don't know if anybody in here caught my live stream the other day where I was actually watching Texas Gal live. I was driving down the road and saw red and blue flipped up behind me about 4 cars back. Flipped on a U-turn, got on my live stream. Right, it lasted about 4 minutes. He saw me pull in and start filming. He ran her, gave her stuff back, gave her a warning, got the hell out of there. Sometimes people just get a warning when they see those cameras. Like that one cop said, he doesn't want to be live streamed, he doesn't want to be on camera, then don't write a ticket, stay there longer than you have to. Just get the hell out of there. And, like I said, just every day, learn the law, learn what to do, what not to do. And just if you can be proactive, be proactive. I mean, you can be a regular citizen and hold the camera. You don't have to ask questions. You don't have to get too close. You can be considered a cop watcher just being a regular citizen. More cameras will never hurt anybody's case other than the officer.
That's
unless
right.
Unless that person is committing a real crime. Which
That's right.
Most of these people don't. They're simply just getting robbed.
What happened? I just lost BZ.
I'm right here, buddy. I'm still here.
Lost you for a minute. That was weird.
No, I was still here, buddy.
Okay.
I don't know if this guy's asking legit questions and asking, or if he's trolling. I've been kind of entertaining it a little bit.
I can help.
I'm starting to get into the lawyer questions that I'm.
No, I can help really quick. Okay, so basically the way this works, guys, is if you're out filming and you're doing it for a non-commercial purpose. And what is commerce? Well, commerce means you're making a movie, so you've got to pull permits because you're making a movie, right? So that would be a commercial purpose because you might have to shut down the streets, you might have to, have stunt men come in. So that would be a commercial purpose. But filming and asking for donations on your channel, well, donations are non-commercial. That's a charitable purpose. That's not commercial. Honorarium is also a non-commercial purpose. If you ask people for an honorarium or someone voluntarily give you an honorarium because they support you or they support your value system, that is not a commercial purpose. But an argument could be made that it's for a commercial purpose, of course. And then every fact and every situation is going to be judged on a case-by-case basis. Now, obviously, eeny, meeny, miny is a troll and all that. I get that. But
well, I mean, he may or may not be. I mean, this is a
He is.
lawyer. This is a lawyer. It may be Merv. Who knows?
Yeah.
Trying to.
It is. But so Officer Izzo is, look, just have the cops adhere to the Constitution. There's no point in enforcing half the laws out there. I'm saying there's no point in having half the laws, probably more than half the laws out there. The problem is politicians, they get their gusto and their mojo by saying, hey, I passed a bunch of laws. Vote for me, right? And typically it's stripping half the population that earns money and giving it to the other 90% that doesn't earn money. And that's how they get elected, right? Here, let me give you Mike Ehline and BZ's money. Here, you're an illegal alien. Here, let me give you a free phone, a free hotel. We're going to move you into New York since all the people that make money and pay the taxes are fleeing. And we'll send you there and we'll get enough representation through the census to where we can basically fleece the rest of the country to pay your bills, because it won't even need to be on a state level because they'll get enough seats in Congress from redistricting that it won't matter. They'll turn the entire country blue overnight. So that's what's going on. Now, here's what Stacy says. More freedom will equal less police brutality and theft. And I agree with that. Absolutely.
Hey, you know what, Mike? We need to have everybody hit that like and subscribe button. We got over 50 people in here.
Playing from desktop VF.
Will Rockstar says he was the last one that hit it.
What? Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that like and subscribe button. Give me a bunch of OTVOs.
Sorry, had to
All right.
I hit refresh and my 911 call popped back up. Sorry about that.
It's all right. So look, we're going to go ahead and close this bad chicken out. It's been an hour and a half and I still have work to do tonight, guys, but I really appreciate everyone coming on. And I just want you to know that this was BZ Watchdog's idea to do this particular video and this particular topic tonight. If you guys liked it, please give me a bunch of ones and go like and subscribe to his channel. And then also tell him to send me some good topics for maybe tomorrow night and we'll come up with another cool show for you. But I hope you guys liked it. I hope you learned a little bit about the law. And again, when I say comply with police, I say it based upon you researching the law in your state to make sure that it's not a stop and ID state. Because what I don't want is for you to not provide ID when you had a legal duty to do so and then come back and blame me. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I'm going to let everybody know, if you guys go over to sub to my channel, you can always send me an email if you guys have any questions or have a topic you'd like to talk to. Mike and I at least talk once a day to where we kind of collaborate on what stuff he wants to do while I'm out in the field. And believe it or not, I have a couple other streams of revenue coming in, so I'm doing other things. But if you guys have any questions, need any help with anything, reach out to me. Mike's got a lot of lawyer court things going on. I'm out there in the field, and it's sometimes a lot easier for me to be able to answer a question or get the information to you than trying to reach out to him.
Yeah, BZ helps me a lot, especially like filtering and stuff, because I get a lot of people, constantly trying to reach out to me and I can't help everybody, but typically when people call me, they're usually asking me questions about stuff, like, I don't know, like,
just crazy things. I mean, not even anything that you really practice or that you even talk about on the live streams.
Yeah, like stupid, crazy things like,
where are your papers? Where are they? Oh. You don't have any papers?
Oh man, so
you're gonna have to send me that. I might have to start using that.
Dude, it is good.
Anytime someone asks for ID, I'm probably gonna have to throw that into my video.
Hold on, I'm gonna drop this bad chicken in the thing for the whole audience because this is priceless.
That's killing me, man. I don't know what video game you found that in, but that's freaking hilarious.
Dude. Well, I told you my daughter's a gamer and they help me make these videos. I'm trying to teach them how to be entrepreneurs. So they're helping me with, I showed them one of your videos and like, oh, Dad, I got an idea. because you cut them up with like, catch me outside. Know what I'm saying? Like, so they're doing, so they're trying to copy you, dude.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch me outside. Know what I'm saying? Hey,
Well,
Jim,
the reason that's kind of my tagline lately is because I've made it outside, and if I made it outside, I'm making it to my car. You can catch me outside as I'm driving down the road.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'll tell you right now, one of those videos where I get locked up, you ain't gonna see that at the end of the video.
Yeah. Well, so let's just say our goodbyes to everyone. Jim Do Fit, you're welcome, bro. I appreciate it. Jim says
No, hell no. Gloria!
Gloria ine commune. All right. Yeah, man. In fact,
I'm just glad she's back. We got Stacy Parenti. We got Broussard. Broussard put up Chili's mail. So if you want to write Chili a letter, he'll greatly appreciate it. He'll write you back. Stacy, you finally subscribed. It's like, what, 3 months ago? Good Lord, girl. Jim DeWitt, Broussard, Eenie Meenie, I know you were trying. You say you were trying. Well, we'll give you that one. That's why you weren't timed out or blocked or anything like that. Stomper, Jody Shillo, as always. Will J Rockstar, Kurt Bronson, you're my boy. Just careful, Chuck Bronson's on your side of town tonight, buddy.
That's right.
Parka, Shimmy, Playboy. Let's see who else we got. Dot Asha. Oh, there he is. I didn't see him in here. Free Country. Let's see who else we got in here. I'm just trying to shout out to everybody before we go. You know, these are all people that, to be honest with you, a lot of these people are in my live stream when I go live, so I appreciate them. Officer Dominic is no, I'm just kidding, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by. Let's see who else we got in here. TLA2. Just kind of going up the screen here. Outside of that, I think I may have covered everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize.
Are you sure you covered Gloria enough? Are you sure you covered Gloria enough?
Gloria! Add. Get it? Add. Gloria. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What do you got?
I try to stand up when I can't find my feet. I try to speak up, but only in you I'm complete.
Gloria,
Gloria, exalted.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that copyright strike demonetized video.
Real quick, I'm going to just do my little thing so you can sign off. Anybody who hasn't been over to my channel yet, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification button. That way, when I go live, you guys see me hold them cops accountable every time I do.
Always.
With that being said, Michael Ehline, make sure you, before you leave tonight, you smash that like button, share that, comment. We all know he's going to go into his, make sure you like, subscribe, share this, save this video, because you never know when the thought police are going to take down
this channel. And what do we say after that? Semper Fi?
Do or die.